time to get a check on what's playing out in the crypto market now. Let's see the color. What's the color right now? We know it's been major pullbacks and it's still majorly red right there on the screen, $66,594. That's for Bitcoin, 0.76% down. Ethereum losing that 2,700 level, 1.79% there. So it's red for most of the top 100 altcoins on coin market cap. Let's look at the sentiments now. What's that sentiment? What's it doing to how traders feel in the market? It was greed before, but now it's getting closer to neutral, but still quite a greedy market at 71 points. Let's look at the top headlines now. We see Tesla. Tesla still owns 11,509 Bitcoins. Yeah, that's Elon Musk's company there still owning, but not adding, but still owns about 11,000 Bitcoins. And that's despite recent surprise shuffle, and that's according to on-chain data. Then we see Michael Saylor is saying that he's going to give away his Bitcoin fortune. And he's going to do it the way Satoshi, that's the enigmatic Bitcoin inventor, did do it, when he invented Bitcoin. He intends to leave his Bitcoin wealth for the betterment of civilization after he is gone. Then breaking news right here in Nigeria, we see the Binance executive has been freed. The Nigerian government has dropped all charges. That's a report saying the Nigerian government dropped all charges against Tigran Gambaryan, an executive at Binance Holdings who has been facing money laundering trial from detention since April. Let's bring in Rume Ofi now, financial market analyst, to bring us up to speed. Hello, Rume.
Good afternoon, Adi. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Rume. It's great to have you. So I guess we can all breathe now. The Binance executive, finally.
Exactly.
How's this being received by the crypto community?
Indeed, I must say that it's received with a lot of excitement. Because this has cost us a lot. A couple of platforms that want to do stuff here in Nigeria or have a value, or some of us add value to them, are having to stay back because of all of these things that are happening. And I'm very, very happy that we are actually right now seeing a new change where Tigran is granted freedom to visit his family. It's been very tough. In fact, just yesterday I had a meeting with a couple of persons and they're like, Nigeria, we are not coming. We don't have any interest there. But I think this is a step in the right direction, and I believe a whole lot of things are going to come into place. This has been long overdue. We have been pushing. He's been in detention for eight months. And it is not easy. A couple of congressmen in the US have actually called for his release. And I think the Nigerian government actually has listened to that, kind of behind the scene, kind of lobbying and agreement that has made all of this come to pass.
Right, quite incredible. You mentioned it's been 8 months. It actually, I didn't know it didn't feel that long, but wow. It's incredible. It's been 8 months already. But what do you think this will do to, Binance-Nigeria relationship?
All right. So the charges on Binance are still on. The charges relating to tax evasion and a couple of others, they are still on. But the truth is, Tigran is just a staff of the company. He's being held for the sins of the company. So maybe at a time where Binance is going to, as a company, is going to sit on the table to negotiate for all of things that the Nigerian government is holding them for. We're going to most likely have a rethink on how all of this is going to play out.
Right, and definitely we know right here in Nigeria, we've seen the SEC, issue licenses to some, indigenous cryptocurrency exchanges. Do you see, at some point, maybe Binance might be getting a license here, or one of these international cryptocurrency exchanges?
They said it earlier that they're not going to be applying for license, maybe because of all of these challenges that are going on. It's also good because personally, I would want a situation whereby the local exchange platforms are indigenous platforms in Nigeria and Africa flood the system before these big boys come in. So they're obviously going to come at some point. There's obviously going to be a negotiation at some point. Considering what happened in the US, you saw how there was a lot of negotiation about, CC had to go to jail, fines needs to be paid, and a couple of things. The DOJ looking into Binance book. So maybe in our own climes here, before some of these licenses are going to be issued, specifically for Binance, we're going to see some agreement, maybe people shifting grounds between the government and the platform, and also some fines are obviously going to be paid because the truth is Binance has been operating in Nigeria without being legally registered.
Right, and looking at what's playing out in most of these markets, I'm guessing once you trade in a foreign cryptocurrency exchange, I want to believe that's importing at this point. But maybe when you make profit and bring that money back in to the country, then I guess that's where we get gains. But looking at this whole cryptocurrency exchange platforms, what kind of growth are you expecting for indigenous cryptocurrency exchanges in Nigeria, even with the new leadership with the SEC right here?
Yeah, so the entire industry, crypto, blockchain, and Web3 is quite big, but it's looking like a lot of persons are focusing on the exchange platforms right now because a lot of attention is towards trading. There are platforms, Web3 platforms, gaming platforms, where people are actually providing value and building a career around. So, but for the exchange now, what I'm looking forward in the future, we'll see more growth amongst more users, more user base, more sign-ups, then more education, because some of these platforms are going to pioneer education. A couple of them are already doing that. I have the license, are already doing that, or some were doing that before the license regime. We'll see more of that. We'll see more people getting inclined with the education around blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and also we will see an influx of people building more products around this industry. Also, I'm very sure that the financial institutions are going to also find interest. But the truth is, people like us, players like us, before now are going to more like show them the way to do it as regards to our climb. Because the truth is, I believe one of the things that Binance, so to say, didn't do properly well was to understand what it means to do business here in Nigeria. But indigenous platforms understand. They are Nigerians and they know how to find their way around all of this regulatory environment and who to meet to be able to do things properly and abide. So I'm looking at a growth. Nigeria has to come back to lead this entire industry and in Africa and the rest of the world. Stablecoin usage is very high in Africa. Nigeria is leading as well. And a couple of other interests around Web3, blockchain and cryptocurrency industry. So more users, you saw what happened with the tap thing. A couple of persons got into the industry. They're not even talking about Bitcoin here. They don't even know what blockchain is. They don't know what the anonymous innovator Satoshi Nakamoto is, but they believe that by just tapping, they're making something for themselves, and it makes everybody really happy.
Right, and I'm sure a couple of players are bracing, for some token generation events that are coming up. I know one is, I think X Empire is also coming. But for you, Rumor, is it dust you see coming, from now on for most of these these games?
So the truth is, kudos to the originators or the creators of all of these GameFi, game to earn, tap to earn, all of these things, because the major point for me is bringing people into the industry. Considering how naira to the dollar is, $1 now, it's off the roof. So if someone is making something tangible relating to the naira, it makes a whole lot of sense for them. So they are looking at it that way. Even if they are getting to some of this game, even if it look as if in the West, it's something that doesn't make sense. It makes sense to a lot of people that are jumping on this industry. So I'm looking at the situation whereby what does to me for those of us that are more inclined may not be does for some persons that are making a few bucks for themselves to be able to survive in the long term. So I'm seeing it from that extent. But best days ahead, maybe we'll begin to see gameplay to end games that will be paying maybe Naira and making a whole lot of people happy. Maybe a game that where you tap, you get some meal in some of these restaurants or a couple of other things. Because I've been told to
maybe tap to eat.
Anywhere we see meal, we can jump on it.
All right, tap to eat. Thank you so much, Rume Ofi. It was great having your perspective there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ladi.